Hey guys, it's John Olympian Exotics here. I wanted to show you one of the newest custom builds that I just completed. So this is a 3-high Christmas tree bin. I believe it's the Iris VE-175, something like that is the model. Let's see, it doesn't even say it on there. Yep, VE-175 model. So that's the big Christmas tree bins that you can get them at Container Store. Sometimes they have them on clearance, or I mean not clearance necessarily, but available during Christmas time at like Walmart or Home Depot, etc. But so the reason why this one is special is it's a custom build, and the customer asked me to include UV light that could go inside the bin. So what I had to do for this was I created a mesh gap right here, and then I routed out a nice piece of PVC to kind of trap this in and make it look a little nicer. You didn't actually need this piece on top, but it looks way nicer with it is. Basically, this mesh is stapled into place on top of this piece of XPVC that I had to router out a gap for the UV light. So these are the Arcadia. I believe they're 12-inch lights. So these put out a pretty good amount of UV. I know they're higher quality bulbs than, say, the ones that you typically get from like ZoomEd or etc. Whatever other competition that you want to talk about. Pet store grade stuff. The Arcadia are supposed to be a little higher quality from what I've understood. Not that I'm an expert on it or anything, but the tricky part was leaving a gap for the UV light within the bins. So when we go down here, you'll see I created a track that the bin will slide on top, so that way there's a gap for the UV light on the next bin down. Then she also wanted belly heat, so underneath here, inside of these tracks right here, there's actually heat tape that is 2 feet long, so it should go up to about here on my hand, that has heat that runs through. Hopefully that'll put out enough heat to get to the desired temperature, especially along with the UV light. I imagine that puts out a little bit of voltage, or wattage I should say. But yeah, so there's two pieces of heat tape that run through each of these sides, because if I put it on the ground over here, for one, I was originally going to put belly heat across, but obviously that's going to get interrupted by the UV light. So that makes things trickier because you can't run the heat tape across. For one, it's going to be below. And then two, if I have these tracks up, if I put the heat tape down here, there's going to be like a 2-inch gap. It's going to be tricky to actually get that heat. So I'm hoping that with the heat inside of these tubes, or whatever you want to call it, structures, that it'll radiate through into the bin and right up into the bin. So I'm really hoping that that'll work. Still gotta wipe some stuff down. But yeah, then I gotta disassemble this and ship it. So that's gonna be the worst part. But I think I'm going to leave the whole levels themselves intact, so that way they don't have to reassemble all this, but then take the legs apart, because it'll collapse down pretty well. What else? But yeah, that was just the engineering challenges that came with this one. Fortunately, the customer has been super patient with me, and even though it's gone way past when I thought it would be done, because I kept having other things going on, you know, life and all that. Not to mention more simplistic builds going on that are like, oh, you just assemble it, and I already had the designs all made up. This one is a true custom build, and I had to play with my router and everything, which I actually kind of hate doing because it's super messy. And if you make an imperfection, you're gonna see it like right there. That's an imperfection, but it doesn't affect anything as far as actual usability of the wreck. So I'm gonna leave it, especially because it's gonna be covered up by a bin. You're not gonna see that, but I see it. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Kind of a cool idea. I believe she's keeping a smaller species of boas in here. I think that's her plan, was selling around ground boas, I believe. So there should be plenty of space for them, because those bins are 52 inches long by, I believe, 14 inches tall, 15 inches tall, something like that. And I believe it's 20 inches wide, something like that. So they got plenty of space, so they'll be very happy with this rack. But yeah, just wanted to show it off because I've been spending a long time on this, and it's hopefully maybe it'll solve some ideas for you guys. Also, I used the I believe this is 1/4 inch. It might be the 1/3 inch mesh actually, but galvanized, because if you're gonna have the bin exposed to this, which the bin will be directly underneath this, what am I gonna say? There's going to be a bin directly underneath this. Oh, you want to make sure you're using something that is rust resistant, because you're going to be exposed to humidity and moisture from the enclosure. So you want to have something that's going to be rust resistant, because otherwise it's going to rust away and then you're going to have to replace the mesh. But yeah, I think that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Take a little step back from it. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know what you think of this build. If you want anything else custom built, hopefully you don't make it as complicated as this for me. But if you do, yeah, I can do it. Okay, well, check out OlympianExotics.com and have a great day.